I don't like your shirt because I'm not feminine.
What makes you say that?
You have to be a good. I don't think you have to be feminine to be a good woman.
We've all seen the memes of the actor that plays Pablo Escobar sitting alone in his solitude looking sad. And for many young men today, they're probably spending more birthdays and Christmases not just alone, but spending these days where no one gives them any presents or any kind of attention besides the run-of-the-mill happy birthday, and they keep it moving. For many people, this might seem like a very sad occasion, but I'm going to explain to you why it's the most freeing of occasions.
Well, even the rats wouldn't be caught dead here.
Yeah, and if they did, they'd end up in the burger mix anyway.
I heard that.
As young kids, we're susceptible to a lot of programming from television, from the world around us. And if you were lucky, some of that programming included, you can't do that on television. If you remember the show, you'll remember the character Barth, who was an entrepreneur. He knew how to recycle goods. He was very clever at making a buck, and he was very clever in the kitchen. Okay, I'm being facetious, but he was one of the things that programmed us. Even though we laughed at him, he taught us a very good lesson about frugality.
Like just yesterday, I put some gum underneath the table here, and now it's gone.
Today, I ran out of mozzarella cheese, so I needed something for the top of your pizza. Waste not, want not.
Johnny Blue earns $806 per month take home, probably below the poverty line in America. Should he give 10%? He said, I couldn't make it if I did that. If you've been in church at any time, will a man rob God? If you don't give your tithe, you're a crook, robbing God.
Just like we get programming from television, if you went to church, hopefully you're lucky enough to at least spend some time in church as a child, you heard the programming from the church where you should be generous and you should give 10% of your income plus offerings to the church. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't give some of your money to people that are less fortunate, but giving your money to the church is a lesson in how you're supposed to be giving, if you will. The only problem with this, of course, is that many people have been giving to the black church for a very long time, and the black church hasn't really built anything in terms of a system or network that is helping black people on a wide scale other than an opportunity for hope. And because of this, a lot of younger people are starting to really question, why would that programming be there in the first place? And for the smart people who have figured that out, they're making very different decisions.
Stephanie, how can you cut mustard?
I don't know.
Good. We were a little short of relish.
Yeah, this is the correct way to date. Yeah, why are we spending $150 on a dinner date to learn who someone is? Whatever happened to getting a free trial of something? That's what we should be doing. Like, I won't even go to the movie theater to see a movie unless I know I'm going to like it. I won't even spend $13 on a movie I'm not sure I'm going to like. So why am I going to spend $150 to get to know someone who's either statistically speaking, I'm not going to like, or they're not going to like me?
What's interesting about this video is that it's 100% logical. It's rational. It's looking at the date as if it's an equation that should have a certain outcome. And when you look at it that way, there's nothing that makes it make any sense for you to spend a lot of money on a date with someone that you don't even know. And this is a response really to overcoming the programming, one, but two, just like you saw in the first clip, if young ladies or ladies say that they don't want to be feminine anymore, then you have every right to change your calculus.
So no, we're done with the, unless you're rich and you just do whatever you want, I'm done spending $100 on you. I'm sorry, I don't care how pretty you are. My simping limit ends after $50 for the first few dates when I don't know if we'll even end up together. there's no one who's worth over $100 for a first date for me.
Wait, you missed.
The reason why spending a holiday like Christmas or your birthday alone without getting any presents is so liberating is simple. If you have been a generous person and for a great part of your life you've been generous, and then you have a day like this, it essentially frees you from the responsibilities inside of you that say, I need to be generous, I need to give all this money to all these people, I need to be a nice person, I need to be giving, all of the programming that we may have gotten from either fairy tales or from church. And the bottom line is, in my estimation, there are three groups of people that we should be giving money to. Of course, this is my list, and everyone's qualifications will be a little different. But first, I would make an exception for people that have a natural disadvantage. I would include young kids who can't work but are doing a good job in school, or people that got random illnesses and they fell on hard times because sometimes life is unfair, things of that nature. Second, outside circumstances like, natural disasters, stuff like that. I have a big heart for helping because in certain situations, all you can do is really depend on other people to be generous because, again, it's a roll of the dice at times where life, nature can just be unfair. And lastly, I would say I pay for quality. If someone gives me quality information, quality service, a quality product, I have no issues, no qualms at all about paying for that because sometimes the time that you spend is worth the quality over spending extra time looking for a replacement that might be a little bit cheaper. These three rules are rules that are new for me, but if I had lived by these rules earlier, I'd probably be in a different situation. That said, the reason why it's so important to make these rules is because, quite simply, anytime that you're giving $1 away, think about that 10 minutes, that 5 minutes, however much money you make. You were sitting in that cubicle, digging that whatever you're digging or driving whatever you're driving, and you are not enjoying it. That's where you're stealing the money from. If any of you guys are having trouble motivating yourselves, do what you hear Brazil Yesh do. He says when he's back at home, he buckles down, he goes to work, and he has a very simple life. And I would imagine he does that because if you look online, you can see this. Now, I'm not the biggest person for going to Colombia, but I know a lot of people want to go there because they have very beautiful women. But $352 for a round trip ticket, and you get to stay there a week, and that's American Airlines.
Don't worry, when you see people like me posting videos from exotic locations, I'm not here because I have more money than you, because I don't. It's just because I'm more single than you. So while you're going on dates and spending $200 a week on that, I'm sitting home alone eating a chicken quesadilla for the third time that day because I bought a pallet of chicken from Costco to save money. And then when I go out, it's to a dive bar where there's a $3 beer and I buy it for myself and no one else. And then at the end of the year, because I've been alone the whole year, I get to, you can do cool things like this.
I don't think you have to be feminine to be a good woman.
As humans, we have a superpower that allows us to live, on space stations, at very high climates in the mountains, down by the ocean, under the ocean, live in urban areas, live in country areas, hot and cold. This ability to adapt is why our species continues to propagate. And if the environment is different, we have to change our behavior. So many of the things that we were told about money, like being generous or giving tithes or that nature, if we're not seeing those kinds of dividends, that it's not effective, you got to change your behavior. Even when it comes to dating. And for guys that are just figuring out now that you get much more, not just bang for your buck, but if you look at the other side, if you're hearing people say, I don't want to be feminine because I don't have to be feminine anymore, then you have the ability to change your spending habits. I don't want to pay for this anymore because it's not important to me. That is fair. The direction I see society moving towards is that there's no more male and female. They're just people. And if we all are just going to be people, then all of those old gender norms for men are supposed to do this and women are supposed to do this, they got to go. Or you got to go somewhere where they still have those kind of gender norms and you fill one of those roles. And if you do that, like I said, Fair is fair. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you guys next video. Take care, guys.